Sexual discipline. By abstaining from doing sexual things with yourself or with somebody else, you are preserving your energy. You are creating strength inside of you, motivation, desire to get things done. I mean, that's what I've noticed. When I abstain from watching dirty videos, when I abstain from beating myself off with my hand, when I abstain from trying to hook up with chicks or whatever, or trying to pursue a woman, I've noticed that I just have a lot of mental clarity and a lot of mental strength, and that transmutes into transfers into like my lifting in the gym, that transfers into me studying, that transfers into me having the desire to clean and like not feel like it's a drag, like when I'm washing the dishes, or like if I'm cleaning the toilet or cleaning the sink or the bath. I'm actually, for like, in a weird way, I'm like enjoying it. Like, it's like I feel like I'm clearing my head, or like I feel like it's like a form of exercise, and I feel like I'm getting shit done, and it feels very satisfied. Like, I feel satisfied. And I guess it's because I'm working towards a goal, and once the goal is achieved, I feel like I earned it. I feel like I earned the satisfaction of completing something. Whereas if I were to just constantly think about girls and constantly trying to pursue girls, I feel like I'm getting distracted, and I feel like I'm in a weakened state. Or if I'm trying to like watch a dirty video, or if I see a scene, even if I'm watching a show that has like that, my intention is not to see sex. If I'm watching a show that I like and some sex scene pops up, I don't get affected by it, because that wasn't my intention of watching, or why I was watching that show or movie or whatever. And it doesn't affect me anymore, because I know what's going to happen if I focus my attention on that. It's going to resort to me becoming sexually hyperactive, and maybe potentially try to relieve myself. And then when that happens, I feel like shit. You feel terrible. And I think a lot of like guys suffer from this. It's like they go on this streak of like NoFap, or like semen retention, or trying to work on their sexual discipline, and then the moment they see a scene or something, they just lose control, and then they just like go all out. But then on the other hand, there are some guys that I know that when they watch these videos and stuff, after abstaining for so long, they don't have the desire to do it. And what happens is, when you are actually conversing with like girls, when you actually go out in the public world and you're talking to girls and stuff like that, it feels enjoyable. Like, it's like you can like maintain a conversation. I've noticed that I can maintain the conversation and maintain eye contact and not get aroused just by a freaking conversation. It's just a regular conversation that I'm having with another human being. I don't look at them as an object anymore. I look at them as just another human being. And I don't know, you just feel strong, man. You just feel so strong. Like, you have so much focus and mental clarity, and like nothing affects you. Like, if someone says like a rude comment, or someone like cuts you off on the road, you don't get as mad, or like you don't take it to offense, because you have confidence in yourself, because you just develop discipline. So, and you have self-respect, and when you have all those things, bro, nothing phases you. Nothing phases you, man. That's what I've noticed. Oh shit, a freaking fruit fly fell into my coffee. Should I drink it? I'll take a sip. Anyways, like, it's crazy. Like, whenever I go on social media or Facebook, or whatever, there's always this like sexual like images and videos of women, and like even like the content that people post is like has sexual innuendo in it. pop the balloon, and the women are judging the guy, based on whatever, and the women are dressed in provocative clothing and stuff like that. Like it's like all over the place online. So there's so many traps that you can fall into, man. When you go into the online space, that can destroy you. And all it takes is like a quick link tab to another to a site and to beat yourself up, and then you've lost everything, man. You know, and then you got to start from day one. And I've also noticed that, like, I feel like Goku in Dragon Ball Z. If you guys know what I'm talking about, it's like you feel like you're becoming a Super Saiyan in a weird way when you are abstaining your seed. Like I have aggression inside of me, but I don't feel the need to let it out and get angry about stupid shit. Like I know when to use it, type of thing. If that makes any sense, like, and I don't feel as tired. These are like some of the after effects that I feel when I am not pursuing sexual gratification. And every single guy needs to go on this journey, man. Like every single dude, whether you're in your 20s, whether you're in your teens, whether you're in your 30s or 40s or 50s, you got to go through a phase, man, where you're abstaining from all sexual stuff. Because you may not realize it, but it's kind of a way to make you weak and to brainwash you and to hypnotize you and to make you suppressed. To be a slave. The way social media is designed, the way movies are designed, is to keep you glued, to keep you constantly thinking about sex. And when you're constantly thinking about sex, it becomes an addiction. You're constantly seeking it. You may seek a higher threshold. If you're watching these dirty videos, you may resort to going to an establishment, and then you may get addicted to the establishment that you go to. And then from there on forward, if you decide to settle down or something like that, in the back of your head, you still have this terrible sexual addiction that you have. And you look at your partner, you may look at your partner as just a sexual object. They may not even satisfy you anymore. And then after a certain point, you're going to resort back to your terrible habits. Because you have no self-control. These things can happen. And I know I have friends, man, that are married, and they still have a terrible habit of going to these certain establishments and in secret, and they do these things, and it sucks, man. It's terrible because not only are you being unfaithful to the person that you're with, you're also being unfaithful to yourself. You feel a sense of guilt inside of you. Even when you are single and you're watching these videos online and you're beating yourself off, you feel a sense of guilt afterwards. You feel like shit. You feel really, really bad. And that's why it's important to have sexual discipline and to abstain from all these things around us that try to weaken us. Back then, in like the 80s and 70s and 60s, we didn't have access to internet, right? They didn't have access to internet. So they would actually have to physically go out there and talk to women and physically go to these shops to purchase like dirty magazines and posters and stuff like that. And even I don't feel like it was a crisis as it is today in today's modern day and age, where people, even kids at the age of 12, 13, have porn addictions. Young kids are having these addictions, and it's not good. It's very, very terrible, man, because these kids will grow up when they get older, and they will just chase instant gratification from this addiction to sex and stuff like that, to drinking, to drugs, anything that can instantly satisfy their mind without putting in hard work, without slowing down, without having patience, without earning things. And after a certain point, they'll think that they deserve everything around them in the world, and then they get frustrated and angry when they don't get what they want. All of these things start to happen, man. And I've also noticed that when you constantly, frequently watch these videos, when you're constantly seeking sex, when you're constantly trying to go out there and pursue this, you start developing a certain mindset where you start thinking very like negative about certain things. You start becoming pessimistic after a certain point. You kind of become a little closed-minded. Sometimes you become open-minded. What I mean by that is sometimes you want to try new things. You may start having really, really messed up thoughts that I don't even want to talk about in this video because they can become really, really dark. And you start pursuing these things, and that's when you get in trouble by the law. It's really messed up in this society, in today's society, that like sex has become so hypersexualized. Like everything has become hypersexualized online, in movies, in advertisements, in children's television shows, in everything, in a lot of stuff. But in order to remedy this, man, you gotta have some sort of discipline. You gotta be able to stay away from this stuff for a certain period of time so you can have mental strength, so you can develop sexual discipline. And when you do this, other aspects, other areas of your life start to improve. You start becoming more happy. You start becoming more content with yourself. You start developing some sense of fulfillment. You start having the desire to pursue, to work on certain skills. You have the desire to learn. You have the desire to get better. All of these things start happening, but it only begins when you have control, when you're able to have self-control. If you don't have self-control, you cannot control the outcome of your life. Other people and other institutions will control your life for you. If you're not able to control your sexual desires, everything around you is going to try to control you. You're going to become easily influenced by good sometimes and also the bad. You become more open to being influenced. Anyways, thanks for watching. See you next time.